ladies. I'm very excited to dive in and talk all things fall fashion. So feel free to jump in. I might have some specific questions for you guys, but if at any point something calls to you, please just jump in. First, I'd love to know, what are you guys most looking forward to for the fall in terms of fashion, style? I see Kat looking very excited over there.
Leopard has always been in, but it's really, really in right now in terms of leopard scarves, leopard coats, leopard skirts. I think the biggest item I've been seeing is leopard skirts. I'm really excited about that.
I second that. Animal. Does this work? Oh, hi. I second that. Totally agree on the animal print. I love also mixing prints, so I feel like I love seeing animal print mixed with another fun print. Yeah, I think that's probably my fave trend. And I feel like we had a dinner last night, and I feel like there were a lot of people wearing leopard. It was awesome. Scotty really rocked it.
I think leather. I'm always excited when leather comes back. We were just saying our favorite season to dress for is fall because it's easier to be sophisticated. I feel like there's more, like once you're combining pieces, layering jackets and boots, it just looks a little more together. So I'm always excited when fall comes back.
Yeah, and I think we bonded over a strong shoulder today.
Yes, we did.
For me, that's probably my favorite. I see it at Rebecca Taylor in their window. There's a beautiful dress with a really strong shoulder. So I think from a blazer or, a shirt, top, dress, anything, I think a strong shoulder I love it.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that I really agree also what you said with fall. I think fall is a great time to pull together a lot of different looks, and you can feel really sophisticated because you can layer a pencil skirt over tights. I mean, not always necessarily in LA, but it is a chance to sort of be a little more sophisticated with our style.
Up your game a little bit.
Right? Mm-hmm. Before we move to the next question, actually, still on this, Kat, you just actually located over here to Los Angeles from New York.
Yes.
So this is going to be a totally different fall fashion season for you.
So different.
How are you prepared for this?
My readers were really used to me wearing coats and boots and, lots of layers in New York. So it has been a really big transition, obviously, because LA is a lot warmer. But I think there's a lot of fun ways that you can still layer. You can do great vests. I love a light blazer as a jacket. I'm still going to rock my little suede booties. So I'm still mixing and matching all of my New York wardrobe with my LA one, but just obviously in a little bit more of a cooler way and lighter way, because it's not going to be snowing here like it is in New York. But yeah, and I'm going to head back to New York in 2 weeks to shoot a ton of fall/winter content. So that's something that's really important for me, since I have so many New York readers, to be able to go back there and still kind of accommodate for that style and what they want to see.
Thank you. What are some of the biggest trends and must-haves this fall season?
I mean, I feel like we talked about leather. Plaid is another thing that I'm super into for fall, whether it's a plaid skirt. I feel like skirts are really fun in fall, especially, like you said, in LA.
Fun. Yeah.
Because you can totally rock a cute plaid skirt or leather skirt with like a chunky sweater, and it's just, the climate here is perfect for that, obviously. But yeah, plaid I'm very, very into. And again, we talked about earlier, mixing prints like leopard and plaid. And then I love
blazers.
Monochromatic anything.
Yes.
So I'm super into all of the monochromatic looks that I'm seeing.
Yeah, my favorite thing to do with that is to do two, like a top or a blazer with a trouser, both pink, but the shades will be slightly off. So maybe a fuchsia with a magenta, or for Fashion Week I did a yellow outfit and it was a mustard top with bright yellow pants. So it's in the same color family, but you still have that effect.
I like that, and I do see that that's a big trend. I've also been seeing a lot of the rosé trend. I'm looking at you because you have a rosé, but also matching that to your makeup as well. So just literally being monochromatic from head to toe, including your makeup.
Yeah, I feel like that's more of a thing now, like a wash of pink over your eye. But the key is to just do mascara and not keep it simple everywhere else.
I'm going to represent the accessories category. I feel like, I don't know, Kat, I can't see you, but I think everybody here has a statement earring on, which I think is, every season, obviously, there's an element of an accessory that kind of pops, whether it's like you're doing a strong choker or it's all about the wrist that season. I feel like earrings have been and are sort of here to stay for the season. So strong earring of any kind.
Do you think that earrings become a big thing in the fall also because it's harder sometimes to wear necklaces and other jewelry pieces because sometimes we are wearing a high neck?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, but like the earrings that you have on, I feel like tassels carried all the way from spring and they're still here for fall. So I think earrings are just having a big moment right now, but for fall, definitely like a good turtleneck with a strong earring is amazing. So.
From Goriana, are there any trends specifically for fall and fall-winter that we're going to be seeing materials? Because I know summer tends to be a little bit more light, and then into the fall we get some different materials.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Goriana does so well is really that gold-based product that's kind of seasonless. I don't want to say that it doesn't speak to the season by any means, but something versatile. So like the necklace that I'm wearing, you can wear it like 5 different ways. So maybe you would wear it as a choker during the summer, but you can wear it as a lariat or kind of turn it around and wear it as a long layered necklace. So I think less about trend and new materials and more about like that timeless, wearable piece that you can have season over season. So,
which makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're investing in a piece, like a Goriana piece, then you get to wear it every season and just change the way that you're wearing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd actually love to know from each of you how your, blogs and Instagram accounts reflect this coming season. Are you planning out your calendar? Are you specially picking outfits now? How are you thinking about coming at your social media and your blog with fall coming? Because I know you said you're going to fly out to the East Coast because you have a lot of readers that want to see those winter outfits.
Yeah, I'm definitely starting to post more fall, winter outfits, wearing more fall colors, because I think people always get excited about a season change. So I want to give that to my readers, even if it's still 90 degrees outside. I'm going to wear a jacket.
Yeah. Very committed.
Yes.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm a little bit in a different, you guys have like such beautiful feeds. Mine is a little less curated, but just because I don't do it as well as you guys.
No.
But, so definitely like, I'm planning my feed, I guess, a little bit, but also just going through my closet and seeing what I have in there and getting excited and putting together looks and seeing what I maybe need to add to my closet as an excuse to go shopping mostly, but also, so planning and curating outfits in my actual closet too and seeing what I have instead of going out and buying things that I already have that are buried deep within.
And I feel like people love that, to see a staple piece that they might already own combined with something that they can buy. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's aspirational but not necessarily attainable to show full head-to-toe looks for each season that you have to go buy.
Right.
But yeah, I think to what you guys both said, it's a lot of just, if you're shooting in LA, you're really hot. In the fall, you're wearing more pieces. But for me, I think my readers are split sort of West Coast and East Coast. I have a lot of New York readers as well. And I try to keep in mind, like I might wear a pink blazer today. Maybe it's not Southern California style, but that would appeal to those readers as well. So it's just kind of keeping an eye on both and making sure you're appealing to the majority of your audience.
Now, speaking about trends, every season has their fair share of trends. Some stay and carry over to the next season, and some we retire and never look at again, maybe until the next fall, maybe not for another 10 years. What are some of the trends that you think are done, and maybe it's time to just put that in a bin somewhere, give it to a donation, pass it on? What are some of those trends that, in your opinion, are like, I've had enough?
Sophie and I were just talking about this earlier. We don't like the really teeny sunglass trend.
No,
I
don't either.
The 90s trend.
To be
I'm
fair,
not into it. Just wear a nice tortoise cat eye shell.
To be fair, like they look awful on me. I think you have to have a really angular face to pull
you
off
basically
the
have to be a
small-
supermodel.
Yeah, you have to have like cheekbones and whatever. So if it looks good on some people, then it's great. But I'm not a big fan of the dad sneakers.
Oh, that was going to be mine.
No.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I don't know. I just think that we were just
Trendy.
saying they're only flattering on really tall people. They're not elongating. So if you're maybe on the shorter end or a different body type, I think it's more of a statement, but it's not going to flatter you so much.
Let's define the dad sneaker for, because I know they're different from a typical sneaker. So maybe just for everyone who might not know, because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But tell us
I know,
more
I wish I
about.
could pull up a picture. So it's a
dad
chunky sneaker, but your normal running shoe or sneaker has a more streamlined shape than these. These kind of jut out. They're just wide and big. Thick sole.
Yeah.
But a lot of like Balenciaga did them. A lot of really top designers did this. I just think that in a few years, people will look back and think it was
why?
not.
Yeah.
I
Some
don't know,
people
not
pull
for
them
me.
off, but
Some people do pull them off, but
But I totally agree with you. They're not flattering.
No.
They're not.
I think that it's one of those intentionally unflattering. And people wear it. I don't even know. You know what I'm saying?
The statement
Yeah,
piece
it's like
or
an
something.
ironic
Yeah,
sort
a
of.
trend, but not necessarily because they feel good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any others? Do you have one that you're like, okay, I'm ready to retire this? Something that you loved maybe for a minute in the summer. It could be an accessory too.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably like, it's been, I feel like I haven't worn them in a few seasons, but there was a time when like I loved a good boyfriend jean, like a oversized boyfriend jean, and I'm kind of done with those. I'm gearing more towards like a little bit more of a tailored look, sort of going into fall. So I don't know if they're still like a thing, but.
I also
Not
love some of the
personally,
new denim silhouettes in general. I feel
Yeah.
like I also am okay with saying goodbye to my sort of shapeless
Right,
boyfriend
yeah.
jeans and the skinnier that goes to sort of a bell.
Oh, flare.
Yeah.
Flare. Well, I think
Nice boot cut.
the really baggy boyfriend jeans were sort of an answer to the skinny jeans. Like we went
Right.
so far in really, really skinny, and then
Skinny.
people wanted to go in the other direction and go really shapeless, and now we're kind of at a good point.
happy
Meeting in the
Yeah.
middle, yeah.
I also love a lot of the high-waisted tailoring, whether it's on
Yes.
denim
Yes.
or just a really nice, I've been seeing some nice blush pink pants and white that we're gonna carry on into fall that you can tuck a mock neck, turtleneck into. So high-waisted to me seems very tailored, and that's a trend that just isn't really going anywhere. Because for a while there wasn't, but I heard that a really low waist is coming back.
Oh no.
really.
I know. The kind where you lean over and you're like, no.
It's just not a good look.
The jeans, oh gosh, where the
Yeah.
zipper is like this big.
Please no.
If you could add only one item to your wardrobe this season, just one, I know that's hard, what would it be and why? Let's start with Kat.
A leopard coat, like I said, leopard's really in. I'm seeing it everywhere. I think it's such a fun piece, and it's something that you could wear on the East Coast or West Coast. Dress it up, dress it down, leopard coat.
And the why, just because you can wear it everywhere and it goes with everything?
Yeah, it's such a fun piece. It's saying that you're like in the know about the trends and that you're excited for fall. It's something that you can carry on into winter, even spring. Like I would wear an all white denim look with like a little white t-shirt and leopard. So it's something that you're going to be able to wear for months and months to come, and it's just a great piece. I think it's the new classic coat.
I like
camel coat.
that. I love that idea of styling it with all white.
Right?
I never would have thought of that. All right, Lauren.
One thing. I love skirts. I'm obsessed with skirts. And again, I think it's because living in LA in the fall, I love pairing skirts with an over-the-knee boot and layering skirts with, a blazer or a chunky sweater. So I would have to say, and I actually am on the hunt for a really good one, so I want to walk around Fashion Island. I'll probably go to Neiman's or Nordstrom or something, but I need a really, really good tailored fitted black leather skirt. I think that's what I would add. And because it's never really going to go out of trend, and it's something that I need to add to my closet, and I will probably have in there for a long time. So that's my
And
piece.
how would you style it this season?
I love like vintage band tees. I love blazers. I love chunky sweaters. And again, like I mentioned, over the knee boots. So again, I feel like my style's, I don't want to say basic, but I just like to be comfy. So I love the idea of wearing a skirt with an oversized t-shirt and being really comfortable, but still feeling feminine and not like I'm drowning in layers and stuff like that.
Not basic. I like
It's
it.
kind of basic, but it's okay. I'm okay with it.
Good. Sophie.
I'm gonna go with the flare pants. I feel like it's sort of has a little bit of a vintage 70s vibe, but it's so modern and current. So it's a good balance of being on trend, but it's never gonna go out of style. I think you can really wear them with anything. Like I love to do a flare pant with a chunky turtleneck sweater. You could tuck a blouse in, maybe like button all the buttons up by the collar, do a nice belt, and then I just feel like the flare, it's like the elongating thing. Like it makes you look taller. If you do a flare pant with a platform heel like I'm wearing, it adds 4 inches and nobody can see your shoe because it's under the pants, so you just look taller. So it's like manipulating your figure a little bit, but.
And with flare pants, I'm seeing so many different, like besides just denim, because there's so many washes of denim that they're showing them in, but then I'm seeing cords come back
I love
which are so retro. And then also just like fabrics, like a really nice, I saw again a blush pink, not even denim, just like a really nice fabric. What if you could pick like one flare, which one would it be? Would it be denim? Would you do a cord?
I wore it at Fashion Week, navy cords. They were like a velvety material. And it had a fun sort of vintage feeling to it. Really flattering. The dark colors are always flattering. I guess that's sort of my thing with trends. I feel like I dress to what's gonna make me look long and lean. And if something like the dad sneakers don't do that, then
You're not doing it.
yeah. But the flares are a trend that will actually be flattering. So.
Dad sneakers, we have said goodbye. We're packing you up. All right, Tanya.
I mean, again, I think sort of with my kind of expertise being in jewelry, I think a good piece of jewelry and something that is versatile is a good, if you're buying one thing, buy something that has functionality across it. So I'd either buy maybe a bangle set, a hoop earring, because that's not by any means sort of like season specific, or a necklace like I just mentioned that has like 5 different ways to wear it. So you can wear it so many different ways. It's one piece, it's one purchase, but you get a lot of wear out of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love big hoops like what you're wearing because it's something like your hair is down right now, but we can still see it.
It's a little peak, yeah.
But if you wear your hair back or in a high bun, or there's so many different ways to showcase an accessory, and same with bangles.
Yeah.
You can like cinch up, a longer blouse. There's so many different ways to show it off.
I think the thing that we do with our product is that it is so delicate that I have a lot of look on right now. If it was anything sort of heavier, it would be a lot of jewelry on at any one time. But sort of everything being independently kind of delicate and layerable kind of completes the look. You can kind of build your own look.
Yeah. All right, well, we are in Fashion Island, one of the best shopping destinations. I'm sure many of us have been walking around. I would love to know what your favorite Fashion Island store is to shop at for on-trend pieces. And I'm happy to start this off because I'm sitting right next to mine, which is Rebecca Taylor, and actually Alice and Olivia as well. These are two of my favorite stores. I buy pieces every season. So I'd love to hear from each of you, your favorite store here that you like to buy on-trend pieces from.
I agree. I wore a Rebecca Taylor dress to dinner last night. I just love how feminine the brand is. And that's another brand that doesn't really pay attention to trends. I feel like she's just very kind of feminine and loose and flowy, which is my style. So
that dress was gorgeous, by the way. You can go on her Instagram and see it. It was like this bluey, white, flowy, feminine, ethereal piece. And you're right, they don't really, they have seasonal pieces, but I feel like the shapes are consistent. They have the
timelessly like elegant, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very feminine, Parisian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go next. I love Vince. Like, I think they do so well at continuing to like do a really strong tailored pant or a jacket, but also touch on the trend just enough where it's not so trendy. But they do that really well, and I would pair something like that back to a Rebecca Taylor dress or like a sort of delicate blouse. And then obviously Goriana. We have a store like kind of center core area over towards Nordstrom, so I feel like obviously I've talked enough about accessories. You need to know that we have a store here.
Yay.
Lauren.
I feel like I obviously would shop at every single store here, but I'm such a Nordstrom girl. I love Nordstrom. I used to work at Nordstrom growing up, and I'm from the Northwest, so I do a lot of my shopping at Nordstrom. I love being able to go to one place and get kind of everything I need, whether it's fashion or beauty, shoes. I just kind of like it all in one place. I don't know if I have ADD or something like that, but I can't shop for a long time. So I like kind of being able to go somewhere and be in and out, and also just like the customer service and stuff like that. So I'm a Nordstrom girl.
It's great. Nordstrom's very dangerous in the best way because you can get everything you need in one place.
Very efficient.
It's very efficient. You can come out with a lot more than what you went in looking for.
For sure.
Happened to me, true story. All right.
I love joie. I've been a joie girl forever, like literally since high school. I used to buy like Nordstrom Rack. We just went into the store actually, Sophie and I, before this, and they have the cutest suede booties, tons of great floral blouses and dresses, great cashmere sweaters. So they have everything for fall that you need. I'm obsessed with it, and I'm gonna go buy those booties after this.
Also very feminine, a lot of the pieces. Skirts, the blouses, always consistent in that way.
Yes. It's similar to Rebecca Taylor, kind of.
Yeah. Well, Well, let's talk about inspiration for a moment. I was inspired when I first went on all of your Instagram pages and blogs. Where do you guys find style and fashion inspiration? I can give an example. For like when I walk by a storefront, I actually get ideas of how to put outfits together. Sometimes I'll see a dress on a rack, but when I see it merchandised with a boot or with a belt, some way I never would have thought to wear it, then I can imagine it in my closet and how it would look on me. So I'd love to hear from each of you guys, whether it's online, storefronts, friends, where are you going to get your fashion and style inspiration?
I love Pinterest.
Yeah, I was just say
Pinterest has always been my number one, and I like save everything to this like fall winter fashion board, a summer fashion board, and then I go and I just look at, because it's such great street style shots that you wouldn't find in a magazine. So Pinterest for me.
Do you just search fall fashion?
Yeah, or like if you're already following people that kind of have similar styles, then their stuff pops up and you can just repin it. So I've been a Pinterest person.
Instagram for me, I feel like Instagram has really contributed to my shopping problem in general. I feel like I see, I'll see something so cute on you or you guys and friends or, online friends that maybe I've never met before but are inspiring. So I feel like Instagram, and especially just a lot of stores and brands that I follow now are so easily shoppable on Instagram. You can actually just shop the photo. So that's where I find a lot of my inspiration and buy one too many things.
Oh yeah. I can second that. How about you?
I'm still a really big magazine reader. I always read magazines on planes. That's like the one time when there's like nothing else. There's no Wi-Fi for most of the time. So I'll read magazines cover to cover. I'll look at the spreads. Also just travel and being in other places, colors. I love color. I feel like I wear a lot of color. So just like getting out and walking around and florals or art, just being out of your comfort zone and looking up, keeping your eyes open.
I think I do spend like the last probably like 20 minutes of my day. I love to just like unwind on Pinterest and look. But I also work in an office with, 40 other amazing girls that are very sort of like on trend, but in a Southern California way. And so I love kind of like focusing on, what they're wearing. And we do a lot of sort of cross shopping within our office. Where'd you get that? Send me that link kind of thing.
Also, very dangerous.
Yeah,
I totally get
for
it.
sure. Yeah.
Well, before we say goodbye to you, I would like to open it up for questions from you guys. If you guys have any questions for our panelists, now is the time. I see a hand. I see two hands. Let's start with you. We have a mic. Yep.
Hi, my name's Kimberly.
Hi, Kimberly.
And I have a question for Kat. You said you're going back to New York in a couple of weeks, so and you're shooting a lot of looks. Are you going for personal, or are you going just there for work? How do you balance having your fashion blog and traveling? If you're like with the, on vacation or things like that. Like, how do you juggle and balance all that? Because if I asked my husband to take photos all day long, it would drive him nuts.
I love it. I know. Some guys are really good about it, and then some guys are not. It can go either way. It's funny, with our line of work, it all kind of meshes together. And so over the years, I've gotten better about, oops, my mic went off. I've gotten better about turning. Is my mic on? It's like going in and out. Sorry. Hopefully you can hear me. I think when we
We're going to bring you a handheld.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why it's going in that. Thank you. When I travel, it's a great time to create content. So if I go with girlfriends, they're usually really understanding and easy about it. And if I'm on a trip with like a boyfriend or significant other, I probably limit it a little bit just because I know like any guy that I've dated has gotten a little annoyed. So I just kind of assess the situation. But for New York, I'm actually going to visit friends. I lived there for 6 years, so I miss it so much. And I am going to, of course, create content and shoot for my blog, but I'll do it with professional photographers so I won't inundate friends with taking pictures of me. So, yeah.
We get another question up here. Hi, we can get you a mic right here in the front in the white and beautiful green shoes, I have to say.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sassy Agent. Thank you so much for speaking on the panel. I wanted to know, what are some of the trends that you're excited to see back? Anything in particular coming up that you would like to see come back in the
we would
future?
like to-
Yes.
Oh goodness, that is a good question.
Yeah, I feel like over-the-knee boots for fall are always, those got really big a couple years ago, like the Stuart Weitzman ones everyone had, but they stayed, and I think that they're not going to leave. Those are always...
Sophie said flares, and I guess
Flares,
yes, 1970s, 60s. I feel like with the mustard yellow and leopard, I think like 60s, 70s trends are kind of coming back in.
Yeah.
Oh, cowboy boots.
I love cowboy boots.
Cowboy boots
Oh my gosh,
are really in
I love
right
the
now.
cowboy boot. Yes.
Do we have any other questions? I see in the far back in the sunglasses, very, very back, I see a hand. We're coming. We're getting there with the hand far back. Yes, cowboy boots. I have a pair of vintage cowboy boots that whenever they come back, I will wear them with anything.
They're back.
Yeah.
They're so good.
No questions.
Hi guys, I'm
Hi.
Kiri. My question for you is, since New York Fashion Week just happened, what was some of your favorite shows or designers?
Favorite shows or designers at Fashion Week?
My favorite show, we were just talking about this, or I was talking to someone, it was you. Yeah, Brandon Maxwell was my favorite. It was just so my style, like lots of pink, lots of feminine, elegant patterns. Yeah, I loved it. That was probably my favorite.
I did not go.
I didn't go either, but I looked at all the pictures online, and I would say I think Zimmerman, again, that floral dresses, just gorgeous, romantic. And then actually Ralph Lauren, because they just had their 50th anniversary. So that was really cool. I mean, Ralph Lauren's always been so classic, iconic. I loved more seeing what like the influencers were wearing. That was fun.
Great. We have a question up front here, another one.
So I just wanted to ask, I'm a huge Audrey Hepburn fan, and I always feel like I need to be inspired by her. Do you guys have any inspiration from Hollywood?
We can bring you, we'll bring you the mic just so that we can all, I apologize. Say that again.
Oh, I was just going to say that I love Audrey Hepburn, and I always find inspiration from her. Do you guys have any old Hollywood actresses that you feel like you have some sort of inspiration from?
I mean, you name mine. Audrey Hepburn has always been my fashion inspiration. I could watch any movie she's ever been in, any fashion, like anything she's ever done, I would wear any of it now and make it contemporary because I just love her. I think she has timeless style, and I also love that era. What about you guys?
Gosh, I don't know if necessarily like old Hollywood for me, but I have an obsession with Blake Lively. I just love everything that she wears. I love her vibe. I think her like family situation's the cutest thing ever, but I just love her style, and I love how she incorporates trends, but she also just is very sophisticated and elegant and just like a beautiful person. So that's probably my biggest inspo, I guess, which isn't really old Hollywood, but more current Hollywood.
I love her too. I love Audrey Hepburn, and I think Jackie Kennedy. It's funny, they asked us earlier for this little video, like, who are your style icons? And I said Audrey Hepburn, Jackie Kennedy, Grace Kelly, just like classic. They loved the trench, the camel coat, big, tortoise sunnies. So I think those are like women that will continue looking to their style for like years to come.
I saw another hand go up for another question right there.
Hi, ladies. I recently heard a term called fast fashion, which was new to me up until a couple weeks ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I kind of categorize it as all those really good deals you see as you're perusing Instagram and kind of a quick way to get those runway looks on a budget. But I also read some derogatory comments behind them regarding the waist and if you think about the environmental perspective. So I love a good deal, but I also love a good staple piece. So for your wardrobes, do you guys kind of go to that fast fashion as a quick pick, or do you really encourage women to choose your wardrobe and treat your closet like an investment and go for some of those staple items?
Yeah, I think fast fashion in general, like as a term, that's sort of like derived from sort of the production cycle of how quickly they're able to produce to be on trend. So when you think about like the first person that comes to mind when you think of fast fashion for me is Zara. They're known for being one of the quickest to market on trends. And I think, you know, ethically speaking, I would hope that no matter how quick the retailer, they're being mindful of the ethics and how they produce. However, I'll say, like, I think it's important to invest in pieces both high and low. I think that's the way I dress every day. I could, you know, definitely throw, like, our jewelry is super affordable, but I'll pair it with a really nice sort of, like, expensive blazer, or, like, invest in your shoes, or something that's, like, timeless enough to last. I think for me, like, I invest in, like, the more classic pieces, whether it be handbags or probably mostly in my accessories. Like, I'll buy a great belt that will last kind of season over season, but I like to mix high and low.
I agree. I'm a little turned off by, like you said, the production, not the quality, but the ethics behind it.
Right.
I feel like I used to shop at Zara a lot. I grew up in LA, and so like in high school we'd go to the Grove and go to Zara, and I feel like now I sort of prefer to save up and splurge on an expensive leather jacket or shoes or a bag. I will still pair, I like doing high and low as well, but I kind of tend to find, even for a low, a lesser known
or maybe
designer.
Even like for your basics, it's like find Splendid or like James Purse has really good basics. They're not insanely expensive,
Exactly.
but
And there are so
they're not
many-
$20 as Zara, and they're produced sort
Right.
of ethically. Yeah.
But there are so many LA-based brands that manufacture in LA, great quality, that are inexpensive.
Yeah.
I love, like, Australian fashion is my favorite. There are so many good Australian labels, and they're not all expensive. Some are quite inexpensive, like my shoes. I think were $80 from an Australian label, and yeah, I feel like there are other options. Like, don't feel like you have to go to Zara, you have to go to H&M. There are a lot of options for inexpensive.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I feel like the ethics are important, but yeah, I mean, it just depends. It depends on what your budget is. Everyone's so different. I mean, I know I used to be a flight attendant, and I was on a tight budget living in LA, and so I would kind of go to the fast fashion that were on trend, and still had nice quality pieces. But I do, again, I feel like we've all said this, but I like to mix high and low. So now, I feel like I still shop on a budget, but if there is something that I want to splurge on, like a nice leather skirt, I'll do that, because it's not going to go out of trend. You know, it's something that's you're always going to have in your closet. But it just depends on your budget, honestly. So I feel like it's so nice, though, that we do have that option, and especially with online shopping, there's so many options out there to shop that don't have to cost you an arm and a leg. And you can still be on trend and still be extremely fashion forward without having to shell out, you know, thousands of dollars.
Like Who What Wear did their line, all those collab lines with different, is it Target? Who What Wear?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Do we have any other questions? Oh, so many. I hope we get to all of them. In the second row, right here.
Okay, hi, my name is Aisha Mahali. So I'm a fashion content creator. I do it part-time. I'm also like a server the other half of my time. I would love to go full-time to being like as a blogger. I'm very much in my community, and I just wanted to know what would be like maybe another way to get more exposure, to kind of grow within the community where I can go full-time.
That's a great question. A lot of people ask all of us this, and I would say that the way that I grew was I was a contributing writer for sites that were bigger than me. So I was a contributing writer for oliviapalermo.com and a lot of like top fashion websites. So that helped me get my name out there. Yeah, it was twice as much work because I was writing for my blog and them. But that was great exposure. So that helped me grow. And then obviously just focusing on your niche, your community, you know, going to these conferences, doing a really grassroots way, just meeting people one by one. I think people underestimate that, but going to conferences like this and just networking with like-minded women, that's a great way to grow. And then obviously looking into affiliate marketing. There's companies like Reward Style and Shop Style, and you can put their links on your site and make a commission anytime somebody buys something. So that will help you get to like a revenue stream that will help you go more part-time or full-time.
I obviously have a completely different growth story. Mine happened without really, like I didn't even know what was happening to me at the time. So I can't really speak to that, but I do think especially you touched on it, but like conferences like this, because I even know for myself, I learned so much and just meeting like-minded people. And every time I come to a conference like this, I walk away having met someone or the potential to do a collaboration with someone else. And I just think that's so important. I'm all about collabs. I'm all about working together, and especially women helping other women. So I think you just being here today is such a good way to network. And you mentioned focusing on your niche, because there are so many bloggers, I feel like now, that if you have something that you're passionate about, that will show through and people will recognize that. And so just keep doing what you're doing. Don't try to do kind of everything, I guess. That would be kind of my piece of advice.
I agree. Clubs are one of my favorite things. I feel like it's the best way to grow.
Yeah, connecting with, like, I met Kat 7 years ago at my first, or no, 6 years ago? A long time ago, in New York, the first time I went to Fashion Week, and we were both kind of, well, you were blogging before I was, but I was a new blogger. I had just started, and I made friends with so many girls that year, met a lot of brands that year, and I don't think it's not even a matter of going to New York for Fashion Week. It's just, like we all said, like going to conferences and making friends with people who are doing the same thing, and you can all get together and all take photos for each other and connect on Instagram, and just kind of growing your community and growing your networking base. But it's definitely, I feel like it's such a popular question to ask. Like, it's definitely the top question maybe all of us would get asked. And I like to remind people that this is my 6th year doing blogging or being an influencer, creating content. It's taken me 6 years to get to this point, and there's still so many things that I want to do. So, don't feel like it has to be overnight. It's rarely overnight. I think it's maybe in your case, like you sort of were propelled into this place that you weren't expecting, but it's, I wouldn't say that that's everyone's experience. So it's sort of misleading, I think, but just know that hard work and persistence, networking, it's all the things.
I would say, like, one other big piece of advice that always stuck with me was stay in your lane, like stay you. Go and find inspiration from other blogs that you might admire or be inspired by, but whatever you looks like and your voice, try to stay in that lane, because that's what's gonna shine, and that's what's gonna make you different, and that's why people are gonna come to your blog for you and your voice. We have time for, I think, 2 more questions. I see a few hands up. Okay, in the beautiful print dress right there, sort of in the middle, your hand really high. We're coming over with a mic.
Hi, my name's Renee Young. I teach fashion students at Fullerton College, and I was wondering if any of you have traveled abroad, and what stores do you like? And I know you had mentioned Australia, but if you have any experience with fashion by traveling abroad.
Yes, I love traveling abroad. And I love going to specialty boutiques and shops, in Europe. It's really fun to see, like, even Zara, H&M, they have different selection in Europe than they have here. And then there's a great store called End to Other Stories, which I believe they brought to the U.S. Cezanne in Paris is like a really fun kind of street style brand. Maj and Sandro, I love. There's so many. I feel like the French have a great kind of fun women's street style set of stores.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like traveling, again, I just love to travel in general, but I think it's such a good way to be inspired. And even like you said, it's not even necessarily about actually seeing the clothes itself. It's just seeing the art, the colors, the women. Yeah, just being in somewhere different that's outside your comfort zone. It's definitely a way to cultivate creativity and kind of push you outside your comfort zone in many different ways. I'm actually I've never been to Africa, and I'm traveling to Africa next month. And I'm so excited because I'm just excited to see the fashion and the local artisans and stuff like that. So I think traveling is a great way to kind of be pushed outside your comfort zone and get your creativity brewing.
I 100% agree. And I was nodding my head while you were talking about Paris, because all those stores inspired me so much. And I remember coming back and dressing differently for a while and embracing some of the fashion that's over there in Europe and in Paris. And also how different chains have completely different like styles.
Assortments, yeah.
I remember going to a Zara in Portugal, and I'm like, why don't we have any of the stuff at the Zara
Yeah,
here?
it's different, right?
I saw another hand up back there. There we go.
Hello.
Hi.
When you see things in magazines, not everything always matches. Do you have any advice for the person who always has to be the matchy-matchy? How do you step out of that comfort zone of everything having to match?
Well, I remember like when I mentioned the pink on pink or a monochromatic look. It's like the same color, but it's slightly off. So you're in the same color family. You know, you're wearing all blues or all pinks, but everything's just a little bit off. That's sort of my way of being not too matchy-matchy. But I like to be matchy-matchy sometimes, like, kind of embrace it, because that is very on trend as well. I think both kind of go now. You can either be really coordinated or you can do a leopard print with stripes. Like, it just kind of, I think anything goes now. So I would say don't be afraid to get it exactly right, because the beauty is kind of in the imperfection.
I know I also like to see how stores style certain outfits. Like I'll walk around somewhere like a fashion island and go and see how they're styling a certain dress and then just copy that and call it a day.
Yeah.
Or from their social accounts as well. I feel now a lot of stores and brands will style different looks that they are carrying currently in the stores on their social. So you can also kind of see how to style pieces that way.
I think it's important to just try things too. And if you feel good in it, that's, I mean, you know, sort of just please yourself in that way. You know what I mean? Like, if you love a stripe with a heavy plaid, like, great. It looks great. What's the worst that's going to happen? And you're just, you know, one fail.
One of my favorite things to do, I'm like being inspired looking at your dress. If it's a dress with many colors, like she's wearing a floral dress, there's yellow in there, there's pink, there's green. I like to do what you did with your earrings, which is pick one color of this whole mix, and then all your accessories will be that color. So you could do a pink shoe with this, pink earrings, a pink handbag, and you can even do it with the yellow. Like pick a color that's not prominent in the dress, and then that will bring it out. So your eye will go to the yellow if she's wearing a yellow handbag. So that's like a really easy way to know you're getting it right, as long as it's picking from what's already there.
I also added makeup into that as well. I decided to just bring out the pink today, like what you said, and I added that with my eyeshadow, my lip color, and I didn't do it with my purse or shoes. I kind of didn't do that, but you're right, picking the one color.
Yeah.
I think we have time for just one more question. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, one more right here.
This goes to pretty much anyone. What was the breaking point that you knew you were going to go like full time into your job? I know you have a jewelry line. What was like your breaking point was like, okay, I'm no longer going to do this if you were working another job, or just kind of curious about that? Because I'm in a position where I work as a server, but I'm like so over and I want to go full time, but then I'm really weighing out my options. Like, is that a really smart idea right now?
Well, I was living in New York at the time, and I was working in fashion PR, and I had started to build my network, and I started to get invited to a lot of things and kind of get on the radar of a lot of different brands. So I, too, was unhappy at my job. And in order to make ends meet, I would still write my blog at midnight while I worked full-time. But when I knew I wanted to quit and do it full-time, I actually set up a social media consulting business. And so I took on like a small clothing company or a small jewelry company, and I kind of did their Facebook, Instagram, Twitter to, again, make ends meet. So I had a little bit of side money when I quit my full-time job. And then it was about 6 months, and then I got a big break with like a Nordstrom campaign. I'm so grateful for that. And then I realized, okay, I think I can let the social media consulting go and kind of focus on my blog full time. And that's when the deals started to pour in. So I think it's about, it's one thing to be freelance. Maybe you're going to be freelance and not completely do your blog full time, but thinking about like some other kind of social media or like artistic or creative endeavor that you can do on the side while you're doing your blog, so you can like inch out of serving. So it's kind of, for me, it was like a transition for sure.
Thank you. Well, I want to give a huge round of applause to all of our panelists here for sharing all their fashion and style tips with us. To Kat, Lauren, Sophie, and Tanya, thank you guys. And thank you guys for all sticking around and for all your amazing questions.